Verse number 6. Maharshaya sapta purve chatvaro manavasthatha madhvava manasa jata esham loka imah praja etam vibhuti yogam cha mama mama yo veti tattvataha. Tattvataha, okay. Sovikampena yogena yujyate natra samsayah. Beautifully. As we have been discussing that God is the creator. This is the concept. So this Ishvara Swarupa Kathanam is continuing now. So when we are discussing this Ishvara Swarupa, definitely Ishvara being creator, both the internal and external. And of course, being the creator of internal, external. Now when a person has this understanding, the one who knows Tattvataha, that person we call as Virata Bhakta. So we use the word very carefully. Bhakta means a devotee. So a devotee Virata, great devotee, if you want to translate superficially, you can translate, but in reality it's not like that, okay? It's a very technical word. So you can use the word called a great devotee, but in reality it's not like that. Because let us look at why he is called as Virata Bhakta, not a great devotee, okay? As though there is some ordinary devotee, okay? Not like that. Because he has called Vishwarupa Bhakti. A Bhakta, a devotee, must have devotion. So based on the devotion, he is called as Virata Bhakta. Now, what sort of devotion the person has? You cannot say great devotion. So that means as the inferior, superior, you understand. So it's a big technical confusion. So that's why traditionally any word we use, okay, we can say it superficially. But it is not truth. As you know, all of you, now one thing we remind, when it is being reminded, when we were studying, and that time we happened to be in Rishikesh. So Pujya Swamiji, as usual, he does not see much. So one day by mistake, that was also bad for all of us, okay? He watched television. Generally he doesn't watch, but God knows what happened to him, he watched. And suddenly he saw one Swamiji, means our senior batch, he was talking in the TV channel. And as usual, he became curious, what this fellow is talking today. So he started watching. And meanwhile, this Swamiji, very nice, because in a television show those days, you have to talk some superficially. So his mistake was, technically he is wrong, but superficially he was perfectly right. So he said in Hindi, moksha means, जब मोह क्षय हो जाएगा तो मोक्ष मिल जाएगा. When the moha, the delusion will be destroyed, that time the moksha, the liberation will come. So moksha means moha kshaya. So he derived this way, okay? Pujya Swamiji watched this. And you know what happened. After that he came out and he had a class and he blasted all of us. You guys tomorrow after the class, what you will do? You will go to TV channels, radio platforms. Then finally you will say, जब मोक्ष हो जाएगा तब मोक्ष मिल जाएगा. ये मोक्ष का व्युत्पत्ति है, ये मोक्ष का अर्थ है. This is the meaning of moksha. It's a very. But if you ask any Swamijis, they will say, what is wrong? It is right. Superficially, 100% he is right. In fact, he said, moha kshaya. Mo, how you remove it? He went one step ahead. Kshaya ksha. Moksha. That becomes moksha. He went one step ahead. So, superficially, perfect. In fact, that is the essence. When all my delusion is destroyed, all my confusion is destroyed, that is what liberation. Nobody can deny it. But the way it was being presented, it was technically wrong, not acceptable in traditional teaching. So also this Virata Bhakta. So when we discuss, because it's a small word but makes a big difference, when you say Virata Bhakta, so what does it mean? It is not a great Bhakta. But because this person has Vishwarupa Bhakti, the devotion that he has related to Aneka Rupa, he looks at everything as God. For this person, because who has crossed from Ekarupa, he is not confined to a temple. He is not confined to a single place. In fact, for him, everything is God. Wow, Swamiji, this is what I want. That's why Vedantis becomes Devantis. You understand? Vedanta becomes Devanta. There is no Vedanta, okay? Means Vedanta, you know. So Vedasya Antavagaha. So that means the end portion of Veda, the essence of Veda, actually reality, but physically also in many portions of Karma Kanda, Vedanta, this Upanishad comes in the end portion of the Sakha. So that's why it's called Vedanta. Technically both is okay. So let us say end of Veda is called Vedanta if you want to carefully translate it, okay? So, means the essence of Veda. But you take end portion, okay? Now Vedanta becomes Devanta, end of gods. This the point may come. But here we have to be very careful, which I am going to say introduction so that we will take two verses together. When we talk about this Vishwarupa Bhakti, the devotion, that is related to the entire form, which we have highlighted as Aneka Rupa. So that means everything is God. Now when everything is God, now every experience becomes the experience that comes from God. So if I have this Vishwarupa Bhakti, please understand, most important aspect. If I have developed this Vishwarupa Bhakti, I don't have a right to resist any sort of experience that I come across in my life. There is nothing called good. There is nothing called bad. There is nothing called, favorable. There is nothing called not favorable. Because in Vishwarupa Bhakti, now the stone is God. The one who is throwing stones at me also is God. And the process of throwing also is part of Ishvara. Can you see this point? In fact, is indeed Ishvara. And the experience that I am going through is also Ishvara, that we saw already in previous verses, verse number 4 and 5. So that means in Vishwarupa Bhakti, or you can say a Virata Bhakta, better. A Virata Bhakta, that person is called a Virata Bhakta. The one who never resists, the one who never murmurs, with reference to any experience the person come across. Is it clear? So that means the person who lives life gracefully. So that's why the presence of that person brings a gracious occasion. That's why you can see, in short, all these Swamijis and other things, when they move around, or all these spiritual leaders are supposed to be, wherever they go, there's a gracious occasion. Because the presence of them has to grace, has to bless. But unfortunately, nowadays, this has become entirely different altogether. Why? Because of this lack of this understanding. That when I look at that I am a Virata Bhakta because I have what? Vishwarupa Bhakti. This is the main concept. Now, whatever experiences I do come across, whether it's good or bad, whether the person is good or bad, I have to accommodate. There is no choice. I'll tell you one incident, which I should not, but sometimes this is what we take the reference when we grow with a teacher. Today, I don't know why Puju Swamiji is coming again, another incident, let me bring. So there was one incident in Ashram. I don't want to get into in details. And whole Ashramites were against. In fact, each one of them come to Puju Swamiji to complain. That person cannot stay here. If he stays here, we all will go. In fact, Puju Swamiji, okay, you all go, no problem. But pressure became so bad on him, to be very honest, he could not handle. Because everybody started bugging. And in fact, the fellow's uncle himself said, no, he cannot stay here. Only I brought him, how can he stay here? Then Puju Swamiji finally said, okay, you guys do whatever you want. At least in front of me, don't do anything to him. And he left the place. Because he told openly, I don't have anything. Because this is a place people should get an opportunity. I cannot reject a given experience. Nor I can accommodate. So whatever experience comes, let me not resist. This is the most important aspect. Why and how? Let us look at psychologically. So that will come to the verse. If you look at psychologically, do you have, because all the experiences can be divided into three categories. One is experiences related to past, experiences related to present, and experiences that which is going to come related to future. Correct? Now, do you have any choice with reference to the experiences that is related to past? Sorry, you are choiceless choice. Because past is gone. So when past is gone, with reference to those experiences, you don't have any choice other than accommodating. Suppose if you keep fighting with them, this is what most of you do it, okay? With reference to past experiences, you fight in such a way, because I notice including some of you fight with me also, okay? So that time I do not hit my head, okay? Swami, you said this thing. Yeah, already I said, what is your problem? However, please, that's why each time when you talk to me, at least be careful, okay? Remember everything, I make a note. Right time it will come back, okay? And this is what my job. Sorry. Apart from this. So with reference to my past experience, I don't have any choice. So I have a choiceless choice. So when I have a choiceless choice, better learn to accommodate, not to fight. Clear? Now second type of experience called related to present. Now, with reference to future experience, you have some choice. Like, now you all are listening here. So, you have a choice whether to have this listening experience or not. You can get up and go. With reference to future, you have some choice. But with reference to present situation, that you are here and you will not listen to. Will it be possible? Unless your mind is crazy or gone crazy, okay? So that means with reference to present experience also, one is helpless. That's why all your fight happens. All sort of conflict that you have in your life is fighting with your present experience. Is it clear? Now when you start fighting with the present experience, now the future has to come in the form of present. Future never comes in the form of future. Have you ever seen? Have you ever come across tomorrow? Have you ever come across the word future? Means, okay, future you have. Future is a word, okay? We have never met future because there is nothing called future. So that means it has to come in the form of present. So in short, psychologically also, I cannot fight, I cannot resist with reference to my experience. That's why we say this non-resistance attitude is called prasada buddhi, is called healthy attitude. Can you see this point? Don't think of healthy attitude something you have to create. No. Non-resistance attitude. That I must not, with understanding, I cannot, I need not resist with reference to my experience, upcoming experience. And that mental disposition is called as prasada buddhi technically. Or if you want to use the word called healthy attitude. That's why in temple it is being cultivated. Why it is cultivated in temple? You go to the temple. You are standing in the queue. What happens? You love orange and you hate banana if you are from India, okay? If you are from Europe, you hate orange, you love banana. It's the other way around. Let us say you are from India, you hate banana and love orange. Then suddenly you discover what? There are oranges. Also banana. So you look at, and suddenly you discover oranges are flying, okay? The priest is giving away oranges. Then you look at, one more is there. Maybe I should get. Finally you discover, when your turn comes, banana comes. Now what happens to you? So if you have this healthy, this is called, if you have little bit understanding, this is called cultural practices we have. If you have this Shraddha, what happens to you? You accept that banana gracefully. Can you see this point? You may not eat. You may hand over to somebody. It's another point altogether. But with reference to acceptance, you don't have any choice. In fact, you never resist there. That's why that is called prasadam. Now, why I brought this topic? Because when you have this Vishwarupa Bhakti or Aneka Rupa, now tell me, what is not prasadam? Whatever comes from the God is prasadam. Now when everything is God, everything is prasadam. With this background, let us look at two verses together. Aham sarvasya prabhavah matah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samannita. Aham sarvasya prabhavah. So me being the creator of everything. So this is what this Aneka Rupa concept comes automatically. That is under our discussion. So not only that, Mataha Sarva Pravartate. And of course, to me, now everything is being sustained, protected. So that means me being both efficient and material cause. That is our under discussion. And here we are talking about which this Upadana Karana. Are we in Parinami or Vivarta? Technically, still we are in Parinami Vivarta Karanam. Okay, we have not gone to it. Vivarta Upadana Karanam, we have not gone yet. So that means me being the Ishvaraha, being the creator of everything. That's why when you become failure or you lose the control, you pass on the bug to the creator. I am making this very jocular statement. When you lose the control over something or somebody, you pass on the bug to whom? To the creator. Especially every parents do it. I see this fight in the family. When child does good, that child is whose? Father will say, my child. You understand? Mother will say, my child. When child does bad, what does the father say? Your son has done. Or mother will say, your son has done. Have you not observed this? So when you cannot control over, so what you do conveniently, you make others as a creator. At least that much you know, okay? And here we also do the same thing. But fortunately, here the creator, having created this thing, being both material and efficient cause, now he says, iti matva bhajante mam. When you or anybody buddha, the one who is a learned person, the one who is a discriminated person, the one who is a bhakta in reality, knowing these two aspects, now what happens? He says, look, bhava samanvitaha. So this bhavam can be called bhakti also. Or you can say bhavam also, jnanam, no problem. Because without jnanam, there is no bhakti either. Many people say, oh, this is another concept, especially in North India, all over the world. Why North India to blame, okay? But in Hindi they say, bhaya se bhakti. From fear comes devotion, in English, okay? That's why everywhere God is presented as, fellow who punishes you. So let there be some fear. Please understand, from fear, devotion never comes. Devotion only can come. From fear, diversion comes. Remember. You keep diverting yourself. That's why you can see in the temples you don't see devotees, you see devotees. They keep diverting their thinking, their lifestyle, their everything. It's a time pass. So here is being said, bhava samanvitaha. If you say devotion or also knowledge, vision, both way you can take it. Because we never look at that jnanam and bhakti are different. Unless you follow four paths, okay? Okay? For intellectuals, for emotionals, you understand, the language changes, okay? So each one has got one path. Yes, nowadays also there is another path called integral path. Integral yoga, okay? So that means if you do not belong to anything, you do not know, you are confused. So for you is integral yoga. Mamma mia. However, coming to the point, iti matva bhajante mam. This to seek, to worship, to relate with the Ishvara, I need to know the both material and efficient cause of the God in details, completely, comprehensively, that we have already discussed. Then only the devotion comes, or then only the Ishvara bhava, the concept of Ishvara becomes clearer to me. Or else what will happen is, or else Ishvara becomes my toy. Today I was thinking one point, very beautiful point. If you keep using people as a tissue paper, not a toilet roll, okay, it's too much, okay? If you keep using people as a tissue paper and continue worshipping your God, you think, will it work? It's not going to work. So also here one has to be very clear. When Ishvara Bhakti is being highlighted, so that means that person will be considered as a Bhakta, the one who does not run away. Because people think to have devotion, I get complaint. Swamiji, I have to do this puja, I have to do that. How can I do puja and everything? That means you must be really gone case, okay? That means you are not doing puja out of understanding, but you are doing puja out of escape, in order to escape. How? Well, quickly also I can give a logic. Let us say a scientist, maybe an atheist. In fact, most of the scientists become theists. They are real theists, okay? At least they understand how stupid they are. So that's why they accept God better than anybody, okay? However, let us take example, a scientist happens to be atheist. Now, being a scientist, being involved in a big research, now he will have all sort of problem. His personal problem, organization problem, research problem, family problem, this problem, that problem. Now with all these small problems or bigger problems, will he forget to focus on his primary goal? That he is a scientist? Will never do that. So also, relating with Ishvara, doing puja, how can I forget everything? But those people try to forget everything, being engrossed in puja or Vedanta or whatever, they are called as escapists. And we cannot call them as Virata Bhakta. Let me not dig too much, doesn't look nice. Next verse. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. And this person, what happens to him or her? He says, look, Macchitta madgat prana. So whose mind is in me all the time? Because the person never sees anything different from me. It is like, especially when a person loves somebody, okay? I can bring this, okay? Yeah, we know all these stories, okay? When you love somebody, not only you love that person, you also love, if the person has got dog of that person also is lovable, you understand? I have seen, especially in West, now in India also, okay? Every house dog. So when you love somebody, you start loving the dog of that person. Not only you start loving the dog of the person, you also love the shit of the dog. That's why what you do, go along with the person, carry one carry bag, okay, in the pocket. So in the morning, so when the dog does shit, you have to put this carry bag opposite way and bring it, carry it. Have you not seen that? In West you can see, India, the people don't bother much, okay? They will say, this is manure for the garden, okay? They leave it. Because in the West you will be punishable. That's why fear of getting ticket. So that makes them to carry all these things. And in India we have, but nobody gives a ticket, and you can manage to get out from that also. However, coming to the point. So when you love a person, not only you love that person's animal, not only that animal's shit also. If this can happen when you have the vision of God. And interestingly, there is nothing called, God's dog, okay, even though it is opposite way, okay, God a dog. There is nothing called God's animal, there is nothing. So everything is God. That means what? Macchitta. So mind is always connected to the God. Okay, but why mind is not connected to the God? Psychologically, if you look at, it is me who creates distance. My ego, because of my ignorance, my ego only creates the distance. That's why prana also become different. So the prana means the vital energy. So taking care of your energy in keeping with a surrounding. That's why in Hinduism, and later on it started traveling to different religions, as you know, whether it is Buddhism or Christianity and everything. Why this group chanting was being there? For example, in Hinduism, in our Vedic culture, first when a brahmachari goes to Gurukulam, has to mug or has to study, chant Vedic mantras and everything. There is a chorus. Now when you start chanting in a chorus, you can see psychological test has been done. In fact, we want to do some research in this aspect, scientific research. We have some plan, let us see. That in a group, there are 5 children or 10 children. If a child is not able to synchronize with everybody, always stands out, you will discover that child will never fit into any organization. That child somewhere will be rebellious. That child definitely will create a mess. This is what I have observed. So through this group chanting, now the subconscious mind is being programmed. So you take care of your prana in keeping with everybody's prana. Can you see this point? So that's why the method that we follow in ashram everything is scientific. Because remember, what is science? Science is nothing speculated data, manipulated data. But here is prescribed experience data. However, let us not get into Madgata Pranaha. Because of this reason, what happens? Now, my prana is connected to the person's individual prana is connected to the Ishvara. And not only that, Bodhayantah Parasparam. They do talk each other. And when they do talk, is the when the Kathayanta is talking, they are understanding. So that means while understanding, while talking to each other is related to me, related to the understanding. And interestingly, because of that reason, because they talk about me, the understanding is related to me. That's why Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Because of ma'am, this is the point, because ma'am, that word is because of me, because they are connected to me. That's why Nityam Tushyanti, they are ever satisfied. Ramanti, wow, enjoys, revels. Why and how? Let us look at. If you look at our life, most of the time, we are connected to our insecurity. Not most of the time, all the time. Because we are connected to insecurity, our mind is insecure. Whereas when we are connected to the God, where is insecurity? That's why if the understanding of the God is not there, relate to your presiding date. That helps. Or else what will happen? Mind is so smart, will jump from one to another. Ekarupa, without doing, will go to Anekarupa. Because Anekarupa, in Anekarupa also there is Ekarupa. So, as long as you are in Anekarupa, still hold on to Ekarupa too. More of it we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.